Let's sing, stand as you're willing and able as we celebrate Gay Pride Unity SF style. Let's sing out, Just Be.
Come on. All right now, Grand Marshal, you gonna run this parade?
Oh yes.
You ready? Here we go.
Just be who you wanna be. Never let them tell you who you ought to be. Just be with dignity. Celebrate yourself triumphantly. You'll see. Just be. Just be.
Say that is again.
Just be who you wanna be. Never let them tell you who you ought to be. Just be with dignity. Celebrate yourself triumphantly. You'll see.
Right?
You'll see. Just be. Just be.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Ladies and gentlemen, and those of you who wonder why
You even have to choose.
I am your Grand Marshal of this Gay Pride Unity San Francisco style. And while we may know that we have 12 powers, today
What
we
now,
present
Taylor?
you 6 easy steps to set yourself free. 1,
Pursue the truth.
2,
There's something new. Accept yourself and you'll accept others too.
4,
Let your love shine. Let pride be your guide.
6.
Change the world when you change your mind. Just be who you wanna be. Never let them tell you who you ought to be. Just be with dignity. Celebrate yourself triumphantly. Just be who you wanna be. Never let them tell you who you ought to be. Just be with dignity. Celebrate yourself triumphantly. You'll see. You'll see. Just be. Just be. You'll see. You'll see. Just be. Just be.
Happy Pride, everybody!
We'll see you at the end. Good luck.
Morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Happy 4th of July. It is so wonderful to see all of you here. I was saying to someone this morning, I've been saying to several people this morning, any excuse to celebrate right now, I am jumping all over because I'm just hungry for the opportunity to actually celebrate and connect with you, with whether you're watching us virtually or whether you're here with us in the space. It's just my joy to be here with you this Sunday. I'm Reverend Deanne Morency. I'm the Associate Minister here. And we have quite a service in store for you. We've got some incredible music. I hope it's a fabulous message. And if you're new to Unity, or you're tuning in on Livestream for the first time, or you're actually joining us here for the first time, we're a community that is grounded in love. And as you saw from that fabulous song that we just replayed from last week's service, we believe in honoring the divinity that each of us are and the way that that authentically and magnificently shows up in time and in space. Celebrating that and supporting our capacity to show up for each other and for the world as our most authentic self. And it is 4th of July. And for me, this holiday does have some mixed energetics. And I don't want to gloss over the mixed energetics. So while I definitely am here to uplift this incredible shift in consciousness that happened with the signing of the Declaration of Independence, I do also want to acknowledge that those ideals are not something that we have fully inhabited, that we have fully as a nation lived into. So I wanted to start with a quote from Maya Angelou who sat in these seats herself, which is just such an amazing thing to know and to think about. And she says, the truth is, no one of us can be free until everybody is free. And that is what we believe here, that we are all this one breath, this one life, this one love. And what is true for me is true for you. And the invitation is always to show up as more love and to not cut ourselves off from those places that might make us uncomfortable. So I'm going to invite Misa Malone to come on up here. We have a treat for you today. The song that we're going to open for our prayer is I Am Here. And this song is, I want us to open our hearts and to anchor all of those who have stood for freedom. All of those people who have lived on the front lines, some literally giving their life, so many standing on the precipice. And I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains to rise if they haven't already, and to encircle and to hold this space in love as we step into this song and then into a moment of prayer. So here's Misa Malone.
I wanna leave my footprints on the sands of time. No, there was something that meant something that I left behind. When I leave this world, I'll leave no regrets. Leave something to remember so they won't forget I was here. I lived, I loved, I was here. I did, I've done everything that I wanted, and it was more than I thought it would be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I was here. I wanna say I live each day until I die. I know that I mean something to someone and somebody's life. The hearts that I touch will be the proof that I leave, that I make a difference, so this world can see I am here. I live, I love, I am here. I do, I've done everything that I want, and I'm more than I thought I could be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I am here. I live, I love, I am here. I do, I've done everything that I want, and I'm more than I thought I could be. I will leave my mark so everyone will know I am here. I just want you to know that I give my all. I do my best to bring you all some happiness and leave this world a little better just because I am here. Because you are here. We are here.
So we breathe into that space, that place. that is the right here, the right now. I am here. Just say that to yourself. I am here. And what is the I am but that infinite love, that absolute grace, that compassion that knows no bounds, that call that we all hear that is calling us to freedom, the freedom of our divine Christ, Buddha self, seeking to allow that to unfurl, to reveal itself in time and in space, allowing ourselves to be inspired by those who have stood as beacons of light, of those who stand as beacons of light. The freedom fighters, the demonstrators, those who stand on the precipice of social justice, just blessing all who have answered that call, and knowing that that call is alive within each of us. So just standing in this space and owning the voice that we are, the strength that we are, the freedom that we are. How good it is to come together, to grow, to always be more and never less. And to know that freedom, liberation is ours right now. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you, everyone. Misa, can we give her some love? Every time I ask her to do that song, it just makes me want to choke up. So I'm going to invite Tyler to come on up here right now. Thank you to the prayer chaplains for holding space the way you do.
Right. Knowing and declaring our freedom right now, even in the midst of all this stuff. So that's what we do in affirmative prayer. It's one of the techniques that we're taught, that we hold that space. And so if there is anything on your heart that you would like the power of agreement, there's a variety of ways to engage with us. One of them is go to the website, submit a prayer request, but also when you're here in the sanctuary, right after service, there's prayer chaplains available to agree with you in your next good occurring as you right now. If you're viewing remotely within the Zoom room, there'll be opportunities for a private breakout room to do the same, to pray and agree together. So thank you for being with us and participating. Now we're going to be getting ready for our first community song, but I just want to remind everybody who's viewing with us live remotely, this is your chance to go to our website, click the Spiritual Salon button, log into Zoom so that you're ready, because right after this community song, we're going to have that interactive meet and greet right here in the sanctuary, and many of us will go up to the Zoom camera so we can share love with one another. But for right now, I invite you to stand as you're willing and able, as we fill our lungs with air, as we raise our heart with faith. Let's sing together, "We Shall Be Known."
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. turning, we shall learn to lead in love. All right, now the music's coming in, so that means you guys are going to sing louder, right? All right, here we go. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. Here's the part, you go. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. Again, in this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. Love is what we're all about here, and it is time to show your love. It's time for our meet and greet. Please make sure you say hello to our friends that are watching on Zoom and greet each other with a handshake or a hug. Please respect people's boundaries. Happy Sunday.
Only 87 more minutes of this.
So we're gonna come on back now as Tyler runs to platform. So if everyone could take their seats, please. It's lovely to see everybody on Zoom. We're gonna mute everybody now, and we're gonna go back to platform to Tyler.
Thank you, Deanne. Thank you, everybody. One of the opportunities that we give every Sunday is that opportunity to engage in divine reciprocity, that we invite you to receive freely. And when you're ready, we invite you to give with love and joy. So there's a variety of easy ways. One way is just using your cell phone and text Unity SF to 44321, or you can click the donate link, whether it's on our website or in the chat on YouTube. And those of us here in the sanctuary, there's an offering envelope in the chair pocket in front of you, and then we always leave the offering envelopes in the basket by the door. So these are ways to engage with giving and receiving love. And we always ask one of our members to share why they give to Unity San Francisco. So let's welcome to the stage the wonderful Dave Cooperberg, licensed Unity teacher and one of our prayer chaplains. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Thank you, Tyler. That first song, I Am Here, in some ways sums up all of what I'm going to say. You may see that at the end. But coming to Unity, I've had a lot of different experiences, but the main thing has been that... Hello? It's been the people, yes. The main thing has been the encouragement to be the highest version of myself, and I see Unity doing that with other people. This morning I was listening to The Hidden Brain, and they were talking about something called ego... I'm losing the word. I want to say prejudice, that's the wrong word for it, but we have a tendency to go with what we identify with. And this will get there eventually. What makes me close to other people is being involved with them. Think about, I'm very close with my dog, for instance. And what do I do with her? I feed her, I groom her, I pick up her poop. There's something about that form of service that creates intimacy. If you've got a baby, you're doing a lot of poop too. And there's some connection with that. And then when we donated to one of these beautiful stained glass windows, there's connection with that too. It's a lot lighter than dealing with poop, but it's again, I'm connected. It's how we connect to each other. And I'm trying to remember my next phrase. Anyway, it's really about, by me giving out, me extending myself, that giving becomes receiving. And I don't know about you, but in my bringing up, I learned a lot about being careful around my finances. And given all the advertising we get exposed to, it's all about asking for that finance. And so when coming to Unity, I had that sort of defensive perspective. And what I've learned in prosperity is about how giving is receiving. And it's like layer by layer, it's been going away. So as I give, as I do the 3 T's, the treasure, time, talent, and then tithing, there are all ways I connect with other people, and all ways where I get to become more, the highest version of myself that I can be. And in doing so, I see others doing the same. And it becomes this virtual circle. And if we ever want this world to be more and see it more as the divine Garden of Eden that it was created for, this is the way. And let me look at my notes since I'm forgetting that. But it gets back to being the best version of myself. And doing so, and tithing and giving to Unity has rewarded me and continues to reward me and stretch me into becoming more the best version of myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave, as we extend ourselves in service and love. So we always hold our time of giving and receiving, we anchor it with an affirmation. So if you're here in the sanctuary, I invite you to hold that offering in your hands as I will say this affirmation once, and then we say it together. I give with abundant love and joy. As I give, I receive. So can we know this together? I give with abundant love and joy. As I give, I receive. And so it is.
Thank you, Tyler. So we're gonna dive into our first song. I'm gonna invite Misa and Marcus to come on up here, and we're looking at freedom in the context today of an evolving understanding. And so this song for me is all about that evolution that we are continually being called towards.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory, glory, oh, glory, oh, glory, oh, glory.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against. Yes, glory is destined. Every day, women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skins become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtapositioning us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through America with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
One day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory,
Glory,
oh, glory,
glory.
Now the war is not over, victory isn't won, and we'll fight on to the finish. Then when it's all done, we'll cry glory, oh, glory, glory, glory. We'll cry glory, oh, glory,
Glory. Selma's now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads he rose to become a hero. Facing the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs of our history. No one can win the war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young energy. Welcome to the story we call the victory. By standing strong in love, our eyes will see the glory.
One day, when the war is won, it'll be ours, it'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory,
Glory,
whoa,
glory, glory,
we'll cry glory, glory,
glory. Sing it with us, say glory.
glory,
Sing it again, I can't
cry
hear you.
glory,
Glory. This is a battle we
cry
all have to win.
glory.
Glory. Which one? Teach one. We get to the top together, or we don't make it at all. We have to stand in unity to see that finish line. In order for me to be free, my children to be free, my grandkids to be free, we all have to fight for the right for the freedom for everyone. And how do we do that? Standing together in love, uniting in love, reaching out and being one with each other and meeting each other in the divine, because in consciousness we are all one. And when that day comes, oh, that is the day. That is glory.
Glory.
Marcus Page and Misa Malone. I love that Misa started preaching. I can just go home right now. Oh, one day. You know, it was a beautiful moment in consciousness when the Declaration of Independence was signed. It was a beautiful moment in a shifting of what is possible. Government by the people, for the people. Unfortunately, the definition of people was white men who owned land. But the idea, and what we deal with in unity is we understand the power of divine ideas. We understand that the experience that we may be having in the world is the experience we're having in the world. But that behind that, underneath that, expressing as that experience is a divine idea that is immutable, unchangeable, that is divinity itself. And freedom is a divine idea. And it lives in us. It's in our DNA. It's in our very cells. It is the blueprint of who we are and how we are called to show up in the world. And Nelson Mandela, I believe, said it best when he said, "There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere." And that's an internal journey of freedom. And that's the larger understanding of freedom that exists outside here in the world that we live in. Can I get an amen on that? The limitations that we place on ourselves, the way we cage ourselves in with what we think is possible, with what we think is available to us, with what we think is ours to be and to do, and then we take all those deciding things, white, female, landowner, black, we take them and we put those limitations out into the world. And we forget that there is no other. There is nothing out there in the world that is not actually alive within us. And I know that that's hard. Like, I look out at the world and I continually say to myself, oh boy, that's me. All those things that I'm uncomfortable with, all those things that I wish did not exist, somehow, because I am a part of all of this, they are alive in me in some way. They are living in me in some way. They are impacting me in some way. They are informing the choices that I make in some way. And for some of us, that sense of freedom is larger than others. And we make this mistake that we think that because I understand freedom on a certain level, that everybody understands freedom on that level. Well, let me tell you, I had my beautiful wife, and she's like, oh no, what is she gonna say now? My beautiful wife, who is black, is a daily reminder for me of the freedom that I take for granted. The freedoms that even as a white lesbian, so there's people with a lot more freedom than me, right? The freedoms that I get to take for granted that she never gets to take for granted. And as I get to see that, I have been changed. I have been changed, and I understand my role in the assumption that my awareness of how free I am is available to everybody. Well, it is in consciousness, but the challenges that we run up against in real time are very different for each of us. And to become aware of that. So freedom, the definition of it, the power to act without hindrance or restraint. Who would you be if you weren't hindered or restrained in any way whatsoever? Just close your eyes for a second. And even just try to imagine what that might feel like. To not be hindered by your race, by your biological sex, by your sexual orientation, by your economic situation, by your age, by your weight, by whatever. Who would you be if you were free of all restraint? So the invitation, at least for me, around Independence Day, and I love Reverend Elizabeth in her meditation this morning called it Interdependence Awareness Day. And I'm going to touch a little bit on that too, because of course Elizabeth and I are totally in sync. You are being invited to liberate yourself. And in the process of liberating yourself, you are being invited to the larger purpose, which is to liberate the world. So you can begin with your own authentic voice. What is it like to actually speak from your authentic voice, freely, without shame, without self-judgment, without self-doubts? What does that mean? How are you going to show up? And how does that impact your heart? How does that free your heart? Who would you be if you freed your heart space? If you actually listened to your heart? Would you be able to walk past the homeless person sitting on the street in the same way as you are able to right now if you truly listen to your heart? What would that move you to become? What would that move you to step into and to own about how we are called to be different in the world? And as we open our hearts, it then allows us to free our bodies. When our hearts are open, we get to just love freely, love passionately, love openly. We get to stand in the power and strength that are these magnificent body temples that are temporary. They are not us. Can we remember that and feel free in our body? Regardless of the limitation that you think you might have. I lived in chronic pain for 10 years. My freedom was right here, even if it wasn't right here in my body. I knew I was free. That is what we are invited into again and again and again. And what that gets to then unlock is our creativity, the creative spark. That is the place that lives between freedom and our wounding. We take those wounds and we think that they are us. We think that they define us. We think that they are who we are called to be in the world, that we are limited by those wounds. And when we can unleash our authentic voice and our heart and bring our body into an alignment, and all of a sudden, creativity is there. And where there is creativity, there is infinite potential. In between freedom and our wounds is our creative capacity to show up, to evolve, to grow. I think back to how forward-thinking in so many ways our founding fathers were with what they actually put down on paper. And then I think about how it was then limited by their life's understanding, their small understanding of what was possible. So they had this moment of creative spark, and then it stopped. It didn't continue forward. It just sort of stalled out there. And then that baton gets picked up by others. That baton gets picked up because what we're talking about is the evolution of consciousness. So ultimately, this idea of freedom and democracy is all one idea. Even though it's happening and unfolding over time, it's still the same divine idea. And there are different people that have carried the torch of freedom at different points. And my invitation to all of us right now is that it's everyone's job now. That's what we are being called into. That's the next stage of our evolving consciousness. Because what we're being invited to is freedom to love and to serve at the edge of love. Right there, at the very edge of all that we think we can give, of all that we think that we are, of all that we think is possible, right at that edge, we are being invited to step into our creativity and to say, there is always more. There is always more. I was sharing last week about how amazing it is that in my lifetime, gay rights have gone from Stonewall to gay marriage to trans rights. Like in my lifetime, there is always more. We are nowhere near done, not on any level. How complacent have you become? Where are you just sitting back? Because maybe you're free. Maybe you personally feel as if you are free, but that's not all that we are involved in here. Pledge of Allegiance says, indivisible, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Do we really live into that? We literally wrote into our Constitution that black men count for 3/5 of a human being. How, on any level, is that liberty and justice for all? And don't even get me started on the women not even being in there at all, right? They're even less than that, right? So we have this paradigm that we think is operating, that it's me first and then you next. That it's me first, and then if there's anything left over, I'm going to include you in whatever's left over. And I'm inviting us all to shift that paradigm. What if it's me first, you first? Because what we know and we believe in Unity's teaching is that there is only one. You are not actually separate from me. You are me. Everything, everyone out there is me. So really, the only thing we can stand as is me first, you first, simultaneously. What's possible if we actually allow ourselves to get rid of this idea that there is an other? To get rid of this idea that there's only so much freedom that can go around. There's only so much freedom. So we're going to get freedom over here, and then we'll see if we can then get freedom over here. And I understand the evolution of consciousness. I understand that things take longer in time and in space than they do in our consciousness, right? Our consciousness is quick energy. And when we're manifesting something in time and space, it innately slows down because it becomes something we can touch. But in our consciousness, are we standing in me first, you first simultaneously? Are we actually standing in that? Because if we're not, it's never going to manifest in time and space. It's never actually going to show up. There's always going to be somebody on the outside. And yet, there is no outside. All those studies that have been coming out showing that racism is not just damaging and hard and painful on the Black and BIPOC community, it's horrifying what it does to the white community. But we don't pay attention to that. Because we somehow think that there is this great division. Indivisible. Indivisible. So, Nelson Mandela was really my inspiration for a lot of this. I kept going back to him, so I sort of started with him, and I'm going to bracket and end with him here. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. And this from a country that was torn apart by the horrors of apartheid. Torn apart. When we in our country think, oh, all of this is just too hard, it's too deep, we can't ever really fix this or heal this. All I keep saying is we have a living demonstration in South Africa of what is possible. But it required that everybody own up. Everybody own up. Whether they actually did something physically themselves or not was not the point. Everybody in South Africa had to own up to the part that they played in a system that was not equal. This is what I believe is the next great evolution in consciousness that we are being called to. This is that beautiful next generation of freedom fighters. And I want to invite each of us into this, because what we know at Unity is that if it's happening within us, it is everywhere present. So where are you holding yourself as other? Where is there a part of you that you have shoved off into the corner and said, oh, no, I don't want to look at that. I don't want to be that. I don't want to understand that. Because that part of you is not free. And if that part of you is not free, then nowhere is there true freedom. This is our work. And there's such joy in it, because all I can say is that when you liberate your authentic voice and you liberate your heart and you liberate your body and you stand in your creative joy and you are literally serving on the edge of love, there is so much beauty there. There is so much grace there. And as Dave was speaking in his Why I Give, there's so much connection there. Deep, true, meaningful connection. So I mentioned this last week, and this is kind of my thing right now. I'm standing in this idea that this is, we've had generations of personal authenticity. We actually have a generation that's called the me generation, right? Personal authenticity. So what happens if we take that personal authenticity, the value of my voice, of my experience, of my journey, and we add this element of global solidarity into the picture? From a unity understanding that there is always more. So the more we allow freedom, the more freedom we're going to feel. The more we're going to allow ourselves to not see someone as other, the more connected we are going to feel. So, Nelson Mandela again, because I really do think that this is our national mandate right now as a country, that we can no longer turn away, that even the things that make us uncomfortable, even the things that make us not know what to do, the issue of race is so loaded in this country. Sometimes we're like a deer in the headlights, and it's across the board. Everyone that I have spoken to of all races kind of feels this shell shock. And we have to heal through this. And the only way we're going to heal through this is by paying attention, by noticing where we have limited ourselves and others, by noticing how we're shutting off our heart, by noticing where we're called to step into infinite possibility, that creative joy, where anything, literally anything, is possible. So Nelson Mandela says, no single person can liberate a country. You can only liberate a country if you act as a collective. And this is the evolution that is arising within our culture right now. And I am inviting all of us to be on that leading edge, to lead on the very edge of love. So I'm going to invite Misa up here. So this is an original song that Misa and Ryan and Carl have put together, and it's going to lead us into our time of meditation.
Love transcends time. Love is sublime. Love is the why and the reason behind almost every smile. Love is worthwhile. Love hurts sometimes, but the hurt shows the worth of a heart that's a part of a love intertwined. Oh, love, love is the answer. Oh, love, love is the key. There is no distance, no difference between you and me. Oh, love, love is the answer. Oh, love, love is the key. There is no distance, no difference between you and me. Oh, love, love is everything. It's all love. It's all love. It's all love. Love is everything.
So let's breathe into that space, that place. Love is everything. Truly allowing that to grow in your awareness. Allowing your small understanding to fall away. All that wonderfully pesky personality that we get so attached to. Just in this moment, just allowing something deeper, something truer, that is the very center of all beingness. Love that is the blueprint from which everything arises. And as we welcome the love, we allow ourselves to feel the freedom. The freedom, literally shaking off the chains, the ideas, the concepts, the story, the history that is holding us down, confining us, constraining us. Just in this moment, we allow love to dissolve the chains. And we touch the vastness. Allowing ourselves to feel, to know, at the root of the root, at the core of our core, there is no separation, there is only one life, one breath. Let us rest here for a few moments in the silence, in the I am that we all are. This stillness, this spaciousness, that as we know the truth of who I am, that we see and know and uplift this truth for each person. I'm going to invite everyone to just hold this high vibration of global solidarity, personal authenticity, seeing this evolving consciousness that is moving us past our small egoic sense of me into this larger awareness. The one life, the one breath. So in this moment, seeing and knowing that someone somewhere who has felt constrained or put down in this moment feels freedom at the very core of their being, feels infinite possibility where perhaps they didn't know there was. As we stand on the leading edge of love, we anchor this space. Let freedom ring for ourselves and for the planet. How good it is to be grounded in love, to be expressing as love, for love truly is everything.
To be loved is to be blessed, but to love is the true test. To choose love over fear and then face in the mirror all the pains of your past. Love holds us up. Love is more than enough. Love is a choice to lift every voice when the going gets rough. Oh, love is the answer.
Feel that in the essence of your being. Love is the answer.
Love is the key. There is no distance and no difference between you and me. Oh, love.
Open your heart.
Love is everything.
Love is everything.
It's all love. It's all love. It's all love. Love is everything. It's all love. It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love.
Love is everything. It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love. You sing.
It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love.
Love is everything. It's all
Open your
love.
hearts, open your arms.
It's all love.
Look at each other.
It's all love.
It's all love.
Love is everything. It's all love. It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love. Love is everything. It's all love.
It's all love.
It's all love. It's all love. Oh, love is everything. I can hear you a little bit louder. It's all love. What is love? Love is everything. It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
It's all love.
Love is everything. Ashe.
Ashe. All right, that original song from Misa and from Ryan and from Carl. Woohoo! Let's give them some love. Because love is everything. And I'm going to invite Tyler to come back up here for spiritual practices. Tyler?
Oh, that's so good. Ooh, ooh. We teach in this unity movement to take a moment of inspiration and to set an intention for my own life. And we call them spiritual practices, not just for this week, but choosing right now in this now moment, choosing for my life forever, using the consciousness that is the divinity within me to make a choice. So, there's a card in the chair pocket, if you like. There's a link on the computer. And if any of these commitments make sense to you, then I invite you to join with me, because right now I am choosing to listen for my authentic voice and choosing to bravely let my heart and my creativity roam free, and choosing right now to be willing to serve at the edge of love. Ooh. And choosing to be an agent of change and to let freedom ring. Whichever of these speak to you, there's even a fifth space to write your own, whether it's here in the sanctuary on the card or whether it's on the computer. Follow the link in the chat for Spiritual Connection card. Click the button. We are here to agree with you in that power that is our divinity taking expression here on earth. There's also a space for you to leave a note to a reverend. This is our Spiritual Connection card. So join with us as we stand to be the change that we want to see in the world. Join with us. It doesn't matter if my mascara runs again. I do not care. Doesn't matter, right? It's the feeling and the setting of an intention. Oh, one last little moment on this connection card is that if you're a first-time guest, just let us know. We just love to send you a little token of love and appreciation. Thank you for joining with us, whether it's your first time or whether you're here all the time. We just love you. We also have a blessing of the children, so let's welcome up Deanne.
Yeah, so thank you, Tyler. So we always bless our children, and right now, I just want us to hold and open our hearts for the children that we are, that have felt any sense of oppression or constraint or smallness, and I wanted to open it up also to the children of the world that are struggling to understand freedom as a divine idea. And that as we anchor it here, we are seeing and knowing that it is possible and accessible for them, no matter what their conditions or experience are in their life. So we have a blessing that we do, and it's always one that I wish I could have heard when I was a child growing up. You are God's perfect expression of divine life. Can you imagine if we'd all heard that? We love you exactly the way you are. So can we open our hearts, open our hands, and know this with me? You are God's perfect expression of divine life. We love you exactly the way you are. And so it is. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. So obviously you're here. You can join us for Sunday service. It is just so great to have energy back in the space. If you're joining us virtually, yay. We are always so glad to have you with us as well. And we have some announcements.
There's always programs and events. Oh my gosh, with the ministers, the reverend, what we put together. One of the exciting things is a new feature on our website. It's the weekly Ways to Connect, a place that you can go to reinvigorate that inspiration. There's different activities in the weekly Ways to Connect, Monday through Saturday. So explore that page and continue this inspiration.
Yeah, and if you ever wanted to know more about affirmative prayer, so the kind of prayer that we do here in Unity is called affirmative prayer. And it's different than perhaps other forms of prayer. I personally believe it's the greatest gift that Unity has given to the planet, is this kind of prayer. And so if you're new to it and you want to discover more about it, or if you are a person who is steeped in it, but you want to dive into it a little bit more, I'm offering an affirmative prayer workshop on Saturday, August 21st from 10 to 2 p.m. It's live and via Zoom. But if you can come live, come. There's a prayer-filled vibe that's pretty awesome to experience in real time. And then we are also doing a prayer retreat.
Yes. It'll be my 5th year. Now, prayer chaplains, we want you to come to the workshop and to the prayer retreat, but this is open to anyone. Whether you want to be a prayer chaplain or not, whether you just want to find out more about the practice of affirmative prayer, the Unity Prayer Retreat is going to be at the Mercy Center in Burlingame. And so sign up on the website. The prayer retreat, September 10th through 12th. Mark your calendar. And come and dig deeper into this wonderful tool that shifts consciousness, especially when I'm in need.
And it's also just if you want to get away, if you literally want to retreat a little
Yes.
bit, Mercy Center is beautiful. There's a
Yes.
labyrinth. You're actually sleeping in one of the cells that the nuns used to sleep in. It's really awesome. I know that might not have sounded so good, but it's really awesome.
Yeah. And there's beautiful grounds,
how did I put
to
that?
walk, and rose garden, so gorgeous.
What I mean is that you have privacy, so you can
Yes.
just be with yourself.
Yes, and I prayed in my nun room. I did. I was like, oh, here I am, and it was still good. It was
That's
delicious.
right.
It was
So
delicious.
if you're on Zoom, you can join us for Community Connection. We'll bring you downstairs so you can be part of hospitality downstairs with us. Please come and join us for hospitality downstairs. We also have a gift for you as you're leaving. We have giant sparkler. Oh, I meant to bring it up. But we have a giant sparkler which we're going to send you all home with in celebration of the 4th of July. Feel free to light them up outside if you'd like to during hospitality.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody. Can we just give Marcus, Misa, and our singers, Mylia, Elaine, and Cleo, just a whole lot of love here as they come on up as we get ready for our final song.
Right,
We have a
right.
closing affirmation that I'm going to invite us to say. I'll say it first, and I'll invite you to say it with me. I lovingly create a world of safety, equity, and equality. I let freedom ring. And I want everybody to stand up for this, all right? Because we're going to mean this, right? So let's know this together. I lovingly create a world of safety, equity, and equality. I let freedom ring. And here is one step.
Yes, let's sing it out.
1, 2, 3.
One step, one step, one step, one step.
Old time religion is a box I do not fit in. I am metaphysical, I am transcendent. Change the situation by changing your mind. Raise the vibration by knowing you are divine.
Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I surrender to the presence of the God in me. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I am practicing the presence of the goddess in me.
What do you believe? You've got to know your truth. Pure potential possibility, that is you. If you stand in opposition, you perpetuate the thing. Would you resist? Persist, so let love be what you bring.
Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I surrender to the presence of the God in me. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I am practicing the presence of the goddess in me.
One step,
one step, one step, one step. Follow your intuition and the passion that you got. Be pulled by your vision, don't get pushed by your thoughts. Everything experienced is energetic. Be aware of energy you give and you get it. Out of the routine, slip into observer state. Change your mind by changing habits, choose a different way. Say oh yes to your highest and your best. What you desire, you can straight up manifest. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I surrender to the presence of the God in me. Make a mental path, one step, repeat. I am practicing the presence of the goddess in me. One step, 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 one step.
yes.
Day, everybody, and happy 4th of July.